always been more comfortable taking orders than giving them. You know, letting Sonny call the shots. If he wanted a preemptive strike, I carried it out.
Yeah, unless you disagreed, which happened more than once. Listen, I heard all those stories from when my brother worked here. Some pretty big decisions, choices that shaped this organization came about because you decided to go against the status quo.
Yeah, but the burden was still on Sonny. If he was wrong, he would have taken the fall. Now it's all on me.
Yeah, no, I understand the pressures that you're under. You're responsible for the day-to-day operation of a very complex syndicate, but you're also responsible for the people who work for you, people who stand to lose everything. If Karpov takes over or if he decides to start a civil war, they'll become targets. Don't you think you owe it to the people who work with you to do what you can to protect them?
You want to see me?
Yeah, come on in. Brody says a lot of good things about you.
Yeah. Glad to hear it.
Yeah, so I want to give you an additional assignment, one that utilizes more of your particular skills.
I'm listening.
Go back to shadowing Karpov. I want you to tell me where he goes, who he sees, and when he's most vulnerable.
Mr. Morgan, I don't know if you remember me. My name is
I know
Sergeant.
who you are, Karpov's attorney. We're gonna have to finish up later.
I'm very happy to have this chance for a private conversation with you.
About what?
Mr. Karpov wanted me to reassure you. He means no disruption to you or your organization. He wants to coexist.
Karpov already told me that. Why is he pushing so hard to convince me?
Port Charles is Mr. Karpov's first expansion into the States, so naturally he wants it to go smoothly. He's already encountered one problem. His arrangement with Mr. Corinthos fell apart. So the last thing that Mr. Karpov wants is any tension with you.
Tell Karpov he's got nothing to worry about. If he doesn't make a move against me, everything's gonna be fine. Excuse me. Yeah.
The last 2 shipments got off safely.
Good. What about the partners?
They can wait for the sit-down at the playa, but they want to hear from you personally within the hour.
All right, I'm in a meeting. I'll call him when I'm done. What's this?
I don't always represent Mr. Karpov. Sometimes I represent my own interests. I think you and I find each other mutually beneficial. I find you attractive, Mr. Morgan. And I propose a personal alliance that would be beneficial and enjoyable for both of us.
Put it on and leave without it.
Oh, hello again, little trespasser. You show very bad timing.
Stone Cold and the Slavic seductress? Jacko hadn't realized that Stone Cold had entered into a romantic, sexual, cheap hookup with the Slavic seductress, but his eyes cannot possibly be deceiving him.
Stop, Spinelli, stop. You need to leave.
Well, it has indeed been a pleasure. Should you want to reach me again, I'm available to you at any time. Goodbye. Do swidania, little trespasser.
Surely Stone Cold realizes that the Slavic seductress cannot be trusted even for a mere moment. And while she may be beautiful, she cruelly ordered her goons to hold the jackal in a compromising position with his feet dangling from the ground and his arms nearly ripped from their sockets.
Calm down.
She will serve as a deadly distraction. And while it is not my place to question the desires of the...
Showed up to deliver a message from Karpov. She came on to me to seal the deal.
That would indeed be a relief. If only it were true. I'm sorry. Stone Cold doesn't need to be ashamed of succumbing to the wiles of the Slavic seductress.
Spinelli,
I know that you struggle daily, mightily, with your longing for fair Elizabeth, and so it is understandable that you would seek oblivion, which is itself a comfort, by turning to someone so completely opposite of the mother of the small Stone Cold one.
don't start talking about Elizabeth right now.
Indeed. Why sully your love for fair Elizabeth by slipping into the dark side, by sampling the forbidden fruit, although I'm sure it was driven by the pain of recent months and the frustration of being so...
Encrypted information off Karpov's PDA.
I've been jackling in the most focused and diligent manner, but the Russian rogue must have skilled cyber support, along with a seductress who is glad that... Sorry, the subject is closed.
Can you get the files or not?
I am the jackal. No firewall can stand in my way for long. You know, the Slavic seductress is indeed attractive in an icy, terrifying sort of way.
Can you please concentrate?
Which is remarkably similar to the way that Stone Cold is often described by people who haven't experienced his kindness and true concern.
Focus, Spinelli.
Perhaps Stone Cold sees his own reflection in her icy, cold Slavic eyes. Perhaps she leads him into the darkness of his soul, and he's made newly aware of the irredeemable nature of his chosen life, and therefore must reach out for her cold embrace to stave off the brutal darkness.
Now stop. Stop talking about all this weird stuff. Get back to work. I got a meeting with Bernie. Can you please get this figured out by the time I get back?
Yes, Master.
No, don't call me Master.
Maximista, 'tis I, the jackal. I am in dire need of your immediate assistance. Oh.
Spinelli thinks you're sleeping with Karpov's lawyer.
How many times do I have to tell you, Spinelli?
Jackal is only acting out of deep concern for Stone Cold, and to that end has uncovered substantial information on Stone Cold's inamorata of the shadows.
His what?
His partner in illicit passion.
Oh, you mean his hookup?
Yes.
No.
Spinelli, under normal circumstances, I would believe you over Jason any day of the week. But despite being an unfeeling, mostly uncommunicative blockhead, no one's ever accused Jason of being a liar. So if he's saying he's not sleeping with Sasha, Donut, or whoever, then he's probably not. You don't need to worry.
Why don't you listen to her?
Yeah, but Maximista did not see with her own eyes the shocking sight of the Slavic seductress.
I'm sure you had a really good reason to jump to that conclusion. I mean, the Slavic seductress is totally Jason's type. I bet she works out, and she seems all icy and commanding, and she probably carries a gun.
It's not helping, Maxie.
I'm just saying Spinelli has a really good reason to worry about you. And you should be grateful. I mean, even though he's mistaken by telling people you're having an affair with a Russian princess when you're really not, his heart's in the right place, and he's a good friend. So you should just have patience. So, what kind of incriminating evidence are we looking for?
Something we can use to end the destructive affair between Stone Cold and the Slavic seductress.
Spinelli, don't you think you're overreacting? I mean, Jason's not even sleeping with Sasha.
Okay, Stone Cold's repeated denials may have convinced Maximista, but the jackal sees the torrid truth that lies beneath. It is evident that the master is throwing caution to the wind, seeking solace by courting oblivion. But the thing is, this affair could get him killed. Oh. Stone Cold remains customarily silent, but his thoughts are resoundingly apparent. The topic of his torrid affair with the Slavic seductress is verboten.
My personal life is off limits, even when you're talking this crazy stuff.
Maybe you should ask yourself why Spinelli thinks you're sleeping with Sasha when you're not.
Because you jumped to the wrong conclusion. You can't let it go right now.
No, because pay attention, Spinelli is worried about you. I mean, think about it. A boy you love was shot in the head. His dad retired and dropped the mob in your lap, and now you're worried that some Russian guy is going to take over your territory. That's a lot to deal with. And on top of all of it, Johnny and Lulu have gotten themselves into this situation that's basically hit critical mass. You could snap. Maybe you have already snapped. Maybe Spinelli thinks you've snapped by having an affair that you're not really having. But he's just trying to be your friend, so you should be a good friend to him too, and just take him seriously, even if he's totally wrong. Things Spinelli does is out of loyalty to you.
Okay, it's kind of Maximus to speak for the Jackal, but he must
He's the
take
best friend you have. Has he or has he not done everything you've ever asked him to do, Jason, without one complaint?
Okay, Maximus's observations are genuine.
I can't count the number of times he's broken the law for you, doing all that hacking stuff. It's not exactly like he's a risk taker by nature, so if he's worried about you, I just think you should listen to him.
Spinelli, I appreciate your concern. You're right, I'm handling a lot right now, but I am not sleeping with Karpov's attorney.
Okay,
Great. Now that that's finished, we can talk about something else. Like Lulu. I went to visit her at Shady Brook yesterday. She's about one good therapy session away from spilling the beans, and if that happens, I will be arrested for accessory to murder. I thought you said you were going to fix this, and now would probably be a good time.
I'll see what I can do. You, stop researching Sasha, and please finish that project I asked you to do.
Привет.
Mr. Jacks, what can I do for you?
Well, I've been waiting for a meeting with bated breath to finalize your intentions in Port Charles.
Well, aren't you the eager one, hmm?
No, more to the point, sir. Once we've settled certain details, I'd like to work out a payment schedule.
It's always about the bottom line with you, Mr. Jacks.
Well, then we understand each other.
I'm still concerned by your romance with the district attorney.
I thought we explained this.
Explain it again. I'm concerned that you may have been gathering information all along to use against me.
Oh, you think the DA's using me to bury you? I mean, go ahead, search me. I'm not wearing a wire. Better yet, let's end our association the way you ended it with Sonny.
Mr. Jacks, you don't want Sonny to be a role model. He disappointed me terribly. And that never ends well.
I could have had someone handle this. Karpov needs to hear this from me.